It's hard to work with the perfect, even for God. Today I want to talk about the culmination of a story that is emblematic in the Bible of who God can work with. I'm Warren, director here at St. Columba's. Glad you could join me for my message of the week. The story is the story of David and Bathsheba, which you can find in 2Samuel chapters 11 and 12. And earlier in the story, about how the people of Israel acquired kings, when the people first say they want a king and God says, what, you don't want me as your king, but if you realise if you get a human king, he'll take your daughters from you, and they said that they wanted a king who would lead them out into battle. And well, in the story of David and Bathsheba, there's David lying on his couch. He's sent the army off to do his dirty work, and he sees Bathsheba and takes her. And whatever you might make of her political shenanigans later on in the story, at this point in the story, she is at the mercy of a king in his prime of his arrogance and power. And then David has an affair with Bathsheba, and she falls pregnant, and then to hide what has happened, he gets back her husband, Uriah the Hittite, and tries to engineer their meeting in such a way that it might look like the child is his. But that doesn't work. So David sends Uriah back to the front, carrying a letter to the general, telling the general to make sure that Uriah gets killed in battle. So Uriah carries his own death warrant back. And then Nathan the prophet, the court prophet, turns up and tells David a story, a fictional story, about a prosperous sheep farmer who takes and kills his neighbour's one sheep. His neighbour's only got one sheep, and he takes the little lamb and kills it for food instead of using one of his own sheep. And David falls for this fictional story, hook, line and sinker. He says, who is this man? Because he deserves to die. And then comes this, it's beautiful because Nathan has led David to the point where it shows that David knows that he's done the wrong thing. Yet in his arrogance and hiding from who he really is, he can't see that this story applies to him. And then we get this beautiful line from Nathan where he says to David, you are the man. Imagine that the great King David is that man, and what it must have meant to David to know who he truly was in the sight of God. And it's a story of a great opportunity to be changed by knowing that we are sinners. And that's one very good reason for this story, egregious as it is, to be in the Bible, because it's emblematic of the way that God can remake us when we come to grips with who we truly are. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.